That's Dre's tutoring? Hey guys, welcome to today's video where we'll be going over bioluminescence. Now, this is a very unique and interesting phenomenon because I think a lot of people have a misconception or really don't know really how it works. And I'll tell you guys that there's a lot of people that actually vacation to areas to see is bioluminescence, and you'll hear about it a lot, on TikTok or some random videos that have all these views, and it's this water that's lighting up. But what exactly is bioluminescence? So bioluminescence is the biochemical emission of light by living organisms. It's driven by chemical reactions in the body. Well, okay, Dre, what's up with this water here? What's up with this water, right? I believe these are images. This image is from I believe it's called the Milky Sea, and you'll see a lot of images where it's like, oh, the water glows, the water there is different. Well, yeah, the water is different, but actually what's driving this illumination of light is the bioluminescence, this superpower that the microorganisms in the water have, usually dinoflagellates, where they're able to take a chemical, it converts into something else, and it emits light. And we'll go more in depth into the exact biochemical reaction in just a bit, but I want you guys to at least understand what exactly bioluminescence is. It is driven by chemical reactions in the body of living organisms. So don't get confused by saying that the water is causing the illumination. It's not really the water that's causing the illumination. It's the microorganisms that are causing this illumination through chemicals that are happening in their body. So let's look at another example. Here we have a jellyfish, and we can see that it has this light show that's going on, right? And this is all because it has the capability to produce or at least illuminate, create light through bioluminescence. Lastly, we have, or second to last, we have some fungus, some mushrooms. They even have it. They can do this special ability. And then the most popular one that we all know of is the firefly, which in its abdomen is able to illuminate this yellow light. So why do this? Is it just a light show or something? Of course, again, us humans love things that are amusing, so we go to these parks, resorts, and travel places just to see this beautiful light. But our guys, these animals and these other organisms, they have it for a certain reason. They use it to warn or evade predators, lure or detect prey, and most importantly for communication. And this is very important in the marine life, the marine environments, where there's a certain section, and we'll get into it, there's a certain section of the ocean and the seas that are very deep, and that environment is very different from the shallow waters. In that environment, it's dark, it's cold, so these organisms have to have that bioluminescence in order to communicate with each other. They also need to eat. So in order to eat, they have to try to lure prey, and there's many tricks that some of these guys do, and we'll see that a bit later. Or they are trying to save themselves. They're trying to run away from this big old shark that's trying to come and grab them, so they have to try to evade predators or warn them, like, hey, don't come near me.
Back it up, back it up, back it up, back it up.
So bioluminescence, the special power that they have, is so important to them. There are three main passengers to this whole bioluminescence thing. I'd rather I say drivers, passengers. You guys get the point. It's just to make you guys understand and, well, memorize it, right? So the first thing we have is luciferin, and then we have luciferase, and then oxyluciferin. Starting with luciferin right here in the middle, it's a broad term for a compound that produces light when in the presence of luciferase. Now, okay, I don't want to lose you guys here. I'll get back to that term in just a bit. Now, luciferase is the enzyme that catalyzes the oxidation of luciferin. And then oxyluciferin is the product that emits photons of light. So one thing to consider here is that each organism has its own luciferin and luciferase. In fireflies, it has its own luciferin that it produces. These jellyfish have their own, or this fungus, they have their own luciferin and luciferase. This is the reason for why they're able to emit different types of light. You see in fireflies, it's like yellow or orange. This fungus is green, and then this jellyfish is like, some red, some white, blue. And this is because they have their own unique luciferin. Again, this is a broad term for organic compound that produces light in the presence of luciferase. So luciferin is one of the drivers or passengers to bioluminescence. And when in the presence of luciferase, which is an enzyme, this helps push that chemical reaction. So luciferase takes luciferin, and there's actually a fourth driver here, oxygen. So what we have is we have luciferin plus oxygen. And then what we have is we have an enzyme, or this mediator, which is luciferase, and it kind of brings these guys together. If you guys seen my previous videos, I talk about enzymes and how they mediate or they help chemical reactions. They lower the activation energy. They're the ones that catalyze or give that extra push for that chemical reaction to occur. So you have luciferase, it couples luciferin and oxygen, and then what you get out of this is oxyluciferin. And this is this excited molecule. Think of the most excited molecule. It's happy. And once it reaches its ground state, it produces light. Okay? And we'll see a better example here. I just want to really dig this into you guys' brains. Again, you guys have luciferase, luciferin, oxygen. Luciferase is the enzyme that brings these guys together. Luciferin, the chemical compound, and then oxygen to produce oxyluciferin, which is the final product that allows that organism to produce light. Okay, so off to our left, remember I said that each of these organisms have their own luciferin, and you can see it here. Bacteria has its own, there's a fungal luciferin, D-luciferin for a beetle. So luciferin and luciferase, you see beetle luciferase, bacterial luciferase, they have their own luciferase and luciferin. That is unique to them, and that's what gives them their unique colors. There's a SpongeBob episode where he went down to like the deep blue, the deepest part of the ocean, and you saw these different glowing fish or whatever. Each of them had their own luciferase system, and that's really what causes the different colors that everyone gets so googly-eyed over. So now let's get into some more biochemistry. Actually, guys, don't get afraid. This is the same thing that I did right here. It's the same exact thing that I did here, but of course they did it a bit more pretty than me. And I really want to use this one down here. So if we look at this firefly, how does it produce light? So there's oxygen present, of course, in the air. There's oxygen, and then there's luciferin. Remember, that is the biochemical compound, or biochemical or organic compound that produces light when in the presence of luciferase. So you have oxygen, you have luciferase, then you have your enzyme, and we have that lock and key thing going on with enzymes where the luciferase takes that oxygen, right? So this is oxygen and this is the luciferin. And then we produce oxyluciferin. It's very excited. It's an excited molecule. It reaches its ground state, and once it reaches its ground state, produce light. So that's how it works, guys. And this schematic is the same exact thing as this one down here. I just used both of them just because one may be a little bit better at representing how the process works than the other one, but it's the same key concepts. So now I'm ending this video with just a few little cool facts so you guys can really understand bioluminescence, not just how it works, but in practical scenarios for some of these organisms. So the first thing that stands out to me is most bioluminescent creatures live in the twilight zone. It sounds scary, right? It is a twilight zone because it's pretty dark. And that's where they use bioluminescence because they need to. And then a majority of the midnight zone is still a mystery. That's where we don't know nothing. But here, it's a little dark, so we got some organisms that maybe, bioluminescence. This is the area where it's hot. This is the area where it's not. Not because it's not hot. We just don't know what's down there, right? And here's a few examples of some type of, action in bioluminescence. Like we have the cookie cutter shark that eliminates their shadow from being seen by prey below. So this is called counter illumination. So they're tricking these guys below them, making them seem like they're smaller than what they actually are. And then, of course, like I said here, why do we use bioluminescence? To lure prey, lure or detect prey. So ideally, what this cookie cutter shark is doing is it's luring its prey so it can eat. Then you have the anglerfish. It lures prey too with its glowing fishing rod. For whatever reason, these fish think that it is a fishing rod, and they get caught up, and to their surprise, before they can even think it's an anglerfish. Or how about this brittle star? This one is very interesting to me. The brittle star detaches glowing arms to distract predators. That's a distraction. So they'll distract the predator. The predator sees this bright glowing thing, bioluminescence. It has its luciferin going. It has its luciferase going and producing light, and it can go ahead and skedaddle out from the predator. Lastly, we have the vampire squid, which emits a glowing cloud to stun predators. Bioluminescence again. Bioluminescence at its greatest, right? And like I said before, it's used for communication, food location, prey attraction, camouflage, self-defense. Bioluminescence is also used for to be a spectacle, apparently, for some people. This photo down here is called the Milky Sea that I mentioned earlier, where it's right off the coast of the the Somali coast. And people love this. You'll see TikTok videos here, there, people waving their hands through the water, which, by the way, quick tidbit, I really wouldn't be doing that. It can possibly cause a skin infection. But people love it. They love seeing the sight. And the common misconception is that the water is doing this, and it is not true. It's the microorganisms that are there, like dinoflagellates, that have the power of bioluminescence, thus creating light in the water. So when you have your friends show you on TikTok saying, we want to go here, where's the itinerary, and let's book some flights, say, ha, I watched Dre's video and I know that you're wrong. That is not the water. It's actually the microorganisms, and you can go ahead and draw out the whole chemical pathway for them of bioluminescence. And lastly, you can see there's actually a place called Golfo Dulce's Bioluminescence. This is a big tourist attraction. People are monetizing this, right? And at least they say bioluminescent organisms, at least they, are transparent and tell you it's the organisms, kind of. But remember, it really is the organisms. Give them some shine. Give them some light, not the water. But that's a wrap for this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I really love bioluminescence. I think I love proteins, bioluminescence. I don't know. I just love biology. So I'll see you guys next time. Let me know down below what you guys think. If there's a specific video you guys want me to make or talk about. And with that being said, power to bioluminescence. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.